much for joining us here at the Justice Building, the Dade County Courthouse. We are here trying to help our constituents, people who found themselves in a little bit of a bind, but the criminal justice department of our county has found a way to help them and put them on the road to prosperity. So we will say we're here reducing fines, forgiving fines for driving license infractions, which is a simple way of saying if you have a fine, you haven't paid it over a period of time and you've accumulated fees and you can't drive, your license are suspended, you can't go to work. Well, we're here to help you today. This is for people who live in Miami-Dade County. And so far this morning, we've helped so many people. As I was arriving, people were walking up to me, thanking us, thanking me, thanking the judge, thanking our commissioner for helping them get their license back, and they can now drive to work. So the administrative judge of this whole endeavor, Judge Sloan, I'm going to let him greet you this morning.
Thank you very much. I think it's important to recognize that since the year 2000, the cost of tickets has risen 170%, while the minimum wage only rose 53%. So it's easy to see by those statistics why people are unable to pay tickets that have been assessed. What we're doing is giving them the chance to modify those obligations so they can get their licenses, they can seek employment. When people are employed, it's good for our community, and that's what this endeavor is for, to help the people who've really placed us in positions of power. We work for the people, and that's why we're here. Thank you very much.
Thank you. And Commissioner Jordan has joined in partnership with me. It took a lot of legwork and background studies and everything like that in her office, and my office staff put their resources together, and we've come up with a target list. So it's a pleasure to have our District 1 Commissioner join in with us in this endeavor. Commissioner Jordan.
Thank you, Congresswoman. I'm more than happy to join in this endeavor, and when you think about it, if you go through a toll and you don't pay that toll, it may be only $1 or 50 cents, but by the time you get that bill, it's probably $4.50, and you keep getting toll bills because you cannot afford to pay it all the time, and as well as getting traffic tickets and the inability to pay that. Now you think about the working poor, how you really have to make sure that you're taking care of your family first, and those tolls become secondary to feeding your children. I'm happy to join Congresswoman Wilson and the Chief Judge in making sure that these individuals are able to be heard in court, and they have come out with severely reduced fines. Today we have almost 400 people who are going through the system and going through the process. And the commitment for the judges, we have over 8 judges that are working on these cases. So you can imagine, you have your license suspended, you're not able to pay the fines, you're not able to get to work, so pretty soon it affects your job and your livelihood. This is an economic development issue that's severe in the community. And I'm just happy that I'm joining the Congresswoman and the judge in order to make sure constituents' issues are addressed. Believe it or not, I'm in District 1, extreme North Dade, but I got calls in my office as far as Florida City for people who wanted the help and wanted to make sure that they could come and register and be served today. So I just encourage you, and I also want to thank DMV for making sure that things are working properly, and they are assisting in this process and their willingness to participate.
Thank you. My mantra has been in Congress since I've gone has been jobs, jobs, jobs. And so this is all a part of furthering that mantra, because if people who want to work can work, we can reduce the deficit, and that is what Congress is trying to do. So when we take away the ability for people to actually have transportation to and from work, we really hamper their livelihoods. You can imagine just how this affects so many people in our community, thousands of people. So we can only do just a few at a time or several hundred at a time. But I want you to know that this is an ongoing endeavor under the auspices of the Chief Judge and the DMV. So this is just a series of activities and these kinds of forums that have taken place to help the people in our community. And it's sad to say that most of the people that we're helping are people who look like me. And that is what makes this so important. People who have no way of paying these fines. They have no way. They're the working poor. And we know that. And so many other things are impacted. We know that there's a problem with actually people paying for their support, their children's support, child support. That becomes an issue when it's tied up with the job. People are laid off. People are stopped. They go to jail because they have no license. And when you go back so many times, you actually get sentenced. So it's a problem, and I'm sure that the judges find relief in helping these people because it cuts down on the traffic that's coming through your courts for all of these fines and fees and etc. So thank you so much to everyone who's participated in this. We have our volunteers from Job Corps in their red shirts today. They know what it is. They're helping us, and I'm so proud of them. They're helping with the driver's license reinstatement. I want to thank my office and Commissioner Jordan's office, and of course all of our judges.
Thank you.
Who they're not just here to sentence you, they're here to keep you from being sentenced. So that's a wonderful thing today in this courthouse. So it's a great day amidst all that we hear going on in this world and all that we hear going on in this nation. We're in an election that's not a great time, a great election. It's a lot of partisanship going on, but today we've all come together and it's a happy day, especially in Dade County. Thank you so much. A happy day.
And a happy day.
So God bless Dade County and God bless America. Well, we realize that there are people who are in a gridlock because they cannot afford to pay the fines that are imposed upon them when they are in some sort of have a traffic infraction. So when they don't pay, then the fines grow. And then they lose their licenses. And then when they lose their licenses, they lose their homes, their livelihood, their jobs. And they can't pay child support in many instances when we're dealing with African American men, which is a huge problem from the beginning. And so it's a way of trying to mediate and mitigate some of the circumstances that we know our people are dealing with nowadays, and that is why we're here today. And with the help of the judicial branch of our county here and our county commissioner, we're trying to help hundreds of people. And we thank the judge here and commissioner for joining up with us. And there are a lot of people who have already been helped this morning, where fines have been erased from $2,000, $5,000. It's unconscionable, and we're finding that in many small cities across this nation, this is how people actually fund the police force. It funds the firefighters by putting up little traffic zones, speed traps, and these people get a ticket and they have to pay the fine. If they don't pay the fine, you go borrow the money from these little quick cash things, and this is a circle. It's a cycle, and it's bad. So this is our judge here, Chief Judge.
Hi there, I'm Sam Slum. I'm the Administrative Judge for the Criminal Division of County Court. We have this program because we start from the proposition that it's good for a community when the members of that community are employed. When you lose your privilege to drive, you often lose your employment, which means you can lose your home, your kids get pulled out of school, you don't have insurance, and we have 500,000 drivers in Miami-Dade County alone whose licenses are suspended. And they're often suspended not because people don't want to pay their tickets, it's because they financially are unable to, and we understand why. The cost of tickets since the year 2000 has gone up 170%. Yet the minimum wage only rose at 53%. So when you price tickets 3 times beyond what people can earn, you are setting them up for suspended licenses. And why do we price tickets that way? It's a way to generate revenue. We need to remember government is supposed to work for the people, not against the people. So this is our opportunity to review assessments to see if they were fair, and if they were unfair, to modify them down to a fair amount, give people the opportunity to reinstate their licenses. Hopefully during that period they can find employment, get back on their feet, and be productive members of society. These are not cases. These are real people with real lives and real issues, and that's what we're here to do to help people today.
You know, I'm glad that you're asking the questions, and especially being from Island TV, because you're getting the message out to our Caribbean community, our island community, that we need to make sure that we're taking care of the working poor, because the majority of the fines that are delivered pretty much on people who are the working poor and cannot afford it, and people who look like us. And we want to make sure that there is a process that will get them back into the employment market, that will get them back into the mainstream and reduce the amount of fines that they have to pay. And I'm really happy that we have the judicial system involved along with DMV. That makes it a collective effort, and the Congresswoman, working along with the Congresswoman, with her heading up this effort, I'm just so happy that we're able to help the citizens of Miami-Dade County.
How do people actually go to find out more information, or I guess to go seek the judge, or what paperwork they need? Like, where do they find that information?
Well, I might be able to assist with that. You would file a motion with the clerk's office, a motion to mitigate, to have your fines reviewed, and we would assess those fines and review them to see if they're fair, and if they're not fair, to modify them downward. I want to make clear, this is not an absolute forgiveness of all of someone's financial obligations. It's a review to see if they're fair. If they're not fair, to modify them downward. The financial obligations still exist, but we delayed the full payment of those obligations for a year. So during that period of a year, we hope people will be able to seek out employment, find employment, get back on their feet, and meet their financial obligations. So we're assessing them to see if they're fair and adjusting them to give people a period of time to pay.
Thank you.
Thank you.